Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Outrage after protesters were gassed by federal agents at the ICE facility on Saturday. Many of those were local union members. Some were children. Here's a live look at the ongoing protest outside the ICE facility. Not nearly as many people as we saw there yesterday, but a few people still standing out there on the sidewalk. Our Jake Holter brings us the story from another protest earlier today.
Gas deployed again after hundreds of protesters marched from City Hall down to the ICE facility, appalled by federal agents' actions on Saturday.
Callous and heartless and willfully violent towards children, the elderly.
Video captured Saturday shows a young girl getting her eyes flushed out after federal agents gassed protesters following a union rally against ICE. We spoke with the man who took the video, Mark Remy.
Her crying and, saying it hurts, and the medic saying like, I know, but it's going to get better, keep blinking, keep spitting to get the gas out. And I just thought, what have we come to?
They could see, obviously, that there were thousands of people and there were animals and there were children, and it's broad daylight. I mean, they are up there with scopes. They can see what's going on, so they were pretty clued in as to what they were doing.
These actions catching the attention of the governor.
I do believe excessive force has been used also last night in Portland.
Kotek said that she thinks federal agents must stop the, quote, indiscriminate and unlawful uses of crowd control tools. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson wrote that the city is, quote, moving swiftly to impose a fee on detention facilities that use chemical agents. The ordinance to allow that went into effect last month.
What they're doing is not enough. I think they're saying that they've taken steps for the revoking the permit and for fees, but they issued the land use violation in September and have yet to collect fees for that. Also, these are billionaires, so that's what we're dealing with. So fines is not the way that we're going to address this emergency. We need emergency legislation to shut down the building and prevent them from continuing to tear gas our communities.
Councillor Mitch Green wants to hear from you if you were tear gassed, and Councillor Samir Kanal is working on policy to prevent the use, storage, or possession of tear gas in city limits. And Portland police made no arrests at the ICE facility Saturday night. Jake Holter, KGW News.
And we have reached out to DHS for comment, but have not yet heard back. Governor Tina Kotek today spoke out in support of peaceful protests happening across the state. She held a press conference this morning alongside Eugene Mayor Karen Knudsen and other local and state leaders. It's after a riot was declared Friday night when some people attending a protest smashed windows and breached the federal building there in Eugene. Both leaders condemned those actions but stayed supportive of peaceful opposition to the federal government's immigration enforcement crackdown.
I rejected the dangerous language that we're hearing from the president in the last couple days, saying that people who dissent are engaged in disorderly conduct or criminality. We know that's not true.
Peaceful protest is a sign of health in a functioning democracy. It does not include property damage or vandalism or assault, and you know this.
They also said they have no intention of requesting federal support in sending agents to local communities. Alongside the protest today were more vigils held for Alex Preddy, this one outside of the VA in Seattle. Preddy, a nurse at a Veterans Affairs hospital, was killed by Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis last week, sparking outrage among VA employees and healthcare workers.
So we're going to continue to keep Alex's life alive so the American people will never forget what happened to him.
Organizers say they're planning more demonstrations. They're demanding that the officers who killed Preddy are prosecuted. 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father are back home in Minnesota after being released from immigration custody last night. This video shows the moment Liam and his father walked out of the detention center, escorted by Texas Representative Joaquin Castro. Immigration agents detained Liam and his father from their suburban driveway last Tuesday, sparking national outrage. A U.S. district judge has ordered their release by Tuesday. KGW is your source for the latest breaking news surrounding federal immigration enforcement and the protests happening here and across the country. You can also stay up to date on KGW.com or stream us anytime on our free KGW Plus streaming app. The first day of February started off with some heavy showers, but we ended up with a lot of sunshine out there. Let's get a first look at your forecast with meteorologist Joe Ranieri. Joe, are we seeing anything change with our weather this week?
You know, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a chance for some light showers tomorrow morning, and then we see that sunshine stick around a good portion of the work week. Yeah, and we're going to be looking at this ridge of high pressure develop here. That's going to be bringing in more of that kind of spring feeling. That's similar to what we have been seeing so far this winter. And as we look at the planner for tomorrow morning we'll be seeing temperatures in the low 40s. Close to 50 degrees by late morning, early part of the afternoon. Daytime high tomorrow of 53 degrees. Got a sunrise at 7:30, sunset at 5:19. As we look at your hour-by-hour forecast, I'm not expecting to see much in terms of rainfall. A majority of the more measurable amount of rain will be falling north. We saw just about a quarter to a third of an inch of rain here in the last 24 hours. And after tomorrow morning, we're not going to be seeing a drop of rain move through until maybe the end of next weekend. So we're going to be looking at another dry stretch as we head into the first week of February. Of course, Groundhog's Day tomorrow, and yeah, that ridge of high pressure is going to be holding very strong. So far this winter, John, we've been seeing temperatures right around 50 degrees or better, 31 days. We're going to make it 32 tomorrow. I'll talk more about this streak coming up in just a few minutes.
That's a crazy number. All right, Joe, thank you. Well, the warmer and drier conditions continue to impact the local ski season. Mount Hood Ski Bowl announced that it suspended all operations today because of the rain we saw this morning. After today, ski and ride operations will continue to be suspended because of the current snow conditions up there. Tubing will continue running as normal. New tonight, an investigation is underway for a large house fire that happened in Newberg. It happened just before 8 Saturday night along Old Parrot Mountain Road. Firefighters found the house engulfed in flames, and their response was made difficult by a nearly half-mile-long driveway and a lack of nearby fire hydrants. One person was taken to the hospital. 15 Red Cross volunteers from Oregon and Washington were deployed to areas of the southeast United States impacted by winter storms over the past week. We spoke with Joyce Glover, a Red Cross volunteer from Southern Oregon who arrived earlier this week in Parsons, Tennessee. The small town is about 2 hours from Nashville and has been dealing with extreme cold and the loss of water and power. Glover tells us the shelter she is working at has seen between 6 and 14 people staying there at a time, where people in need have been able to find a warm place to stay the night, food and water, and medical care if they need it. Glover says those who have used the facility have been very thankful.
Been a lifesaver for somebody. If you go home and you're in 14-degree weather, it's cold. It's really cold.
Red Cross volunteers from the Pacific Northwest have also responded to Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas. For the first time since 2023, the Portland Trailblazers will have a representative at the NBA All-Star game. Denny Avdia is an All-Star for the first selection of his career. Avdia is having a breakout season in his 6th year in the league, averaging 25.5 points, 7 boards, and nearly 7 assists per game. He's one of just 3 players in the league averaging those numbers. Last month, Avdia earned Western Conference Player of the Week honors. The Seattle Seahawks arrived at San Jose Mineta International Airport today for Super Bowl 60. They're going to face off against the New England Patriots 1 week from today on February 8th. The Seahawks will enter the Super Bowl on a 9-game winning streak. The team beat out the LA Rams 31-27 in the NFC Championship game to secure their spot in this year's title game. The last time the two teams played against each other with the Lombardi Trophy on the line, the Patriots came out victorious. Some Hawks fans went to the airport in advance to see the team take off.
Lots of driving around trying to see where the entrance is.
It's been a secret this whole time, so we've just been driving around and figuring where the buses are going to be coming in from.
I'm feeling great. I'm with my grandkids and my daughter and son-in-law, and we did it back in 2015. We were here over at 188th, and I'm glad we found the spot.
Definitely going to be a fun week leading up to the game. Orlando Sanchez and Art Edwards are going to talk about these stories and more tonight on Sports Sunday.